So now that we changed the overall presentation of this layout, we need to change the color and contrast of the type below. So this will probably need to be kind of a very light gray or a white or some kind of really neutral color that's bright. So we're just going to go over to Fill, and we can just choose a white color. We can go to CMYK, choose a nice, maybe a light gray color. And right here, and same thing with our line, if we want to change our line as well, now that we're starting to develop a theme here. So what I want to do is I want to start to do some color matching here. So we match this blue color and brought it over. But what would be really neat is to bring out the gold and all the accessories, because most of the accessories are gold based. So wouldn't it be neat to bring that out? And I know I use gold a lot, but I just happen to be a big fan. So let's see how we can do that. So what we want to do is we want to find kind of a gold color palette. So let's zoom in on some of these gold items and see if we can't use the eyedropper tool to be able to sample this. So what I can do is if you click and hold the eyedropper tool, there's something called the color theme tool. We're going to select the color theme tool. And this is really neat because it helps us select a really quick color palette for us. So we're going to click on this gold. And what it does is it takes kind of a sample from that entire photograph. And you have colorful, bright, dark, muted. It's a great way to create a very quick color palette from a photo, and you can add this to your swatches. So when I add a color theme to my swatch, let's go ahead and add it. Where does that go? So where is my color swatches? And we can go up to Window, Color, and go down to swatches. So this will load your swatch, and I already had this loaded in. It looks like this little icon right here. This is your swatch panel. So I can add, this is my theme that I just added. So I added all these different colors that it automatically picked for me. And of course I can add my own. So let's say I select, let's just do a box. Just doing a simple box right here, and I want to go ahead and fill it. I can go down to my swatches and fill it with any color I want. And this is great when you're working with branded materials because you can save your branded colors, and you can go to your swatch panel at any time to load the exact ink color. So everything is consistent across everything. So let's say I really like this gold, but I want to tweak it a little bit. I can go ahead and double click, and if I wanted to tweak it, or if I wanted to take this eyedropper tool and sample a different gold color somewhere, maybe in this bracelet. And you can see the original color and the one that I'm selecting. And that actually might be a really good color, so I might stick with that. But let's say we just had an example and I wanted to make it bright green. And I want to add this color swatch to my swatches. Right click this fill swatch, or the swatch over here, right click it, and I can add to swatches. And you'll notice that is now an automatic swatch, and I can of course right click and delete it if I feel like that is not one that I want to do. So let's go back to that gold. I think this is a really good choice. I can drag this out of this colorful theme and bring it right back out here so I can have easy access to it. You can double click, you can rename these swatches. So I could do gold color. You can name this whatever brand color you like. So now I can go to our typography, and I can quickly highlight my typography and my swatch panel. I like to have my swatch panel readily available, so I like to have it loaded here, right here in my quick access panel, and click on gold color, and voila. So we want to be consistent with our type choices. So we have this Dido that we're using. You can use whatever sans serif or serif typeface you want here, but for my example I have Dido. So what I want to do is for the subheading, I'd like to bring out the same typeface choice, because this one looks like it's a default Minion Pro. So I'm going to select the text I want to change, get my eyedropper tool and sample it, and it's going to automatically adapt everything. Go down to my swatch panel, go ahead and highlight the text I want to change and flip it over to my gold color, and voila. And of course, now that I'm seeing this, I would love to brighten that up just a little bit, so I can double click the swatch, and whatever swatch, it's global. It'll change globally. So let's say I have all of this. So let's say I have that gold and I have this gold, and let's say I want to lighten the colors on both of those. If they are set to the gold swatch, so both of them have the gold swatch applied, I can change the gold swatch. So double click the swatch, I can tweak it, and everything globally will change. So anything that had that swatch can be changed out quickly. So what's great about this is if I had 20 pages and I have all of those pages, the headlines applied the same color swatch, I can change it globally. I can tweak it and make all of that same swatch a lighter color across all pages. And that's what makes InDesign so powerful. Is if we were in Adobe Illustrator, they do have kind of a global styles with colors, but it works so well with InDesign. So let's go ahead and switch that back to gold. So both of those are set to the gold swatch. And I want to make this little line gold too. So let's switch that to gold. And it looks like I need to change the stroke on that one to gold. So just changing that to gold. And I think we're really making some progress here with how this looks. Let's change the typeface of our body copy. We can easily highlight that. Instead of Minion Pro, we can go to a Dido, or we can find like a sans serif to work with body copy. It just depends on the look we want to go for. So now that we zoom out, we can kind of take a look at our layout. We can always press W, toggle on our margins, and we can now adjust. So now that we have kind of this column kind of starting over here on the right, it would be nice if our photo maybe aligned with that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just thought, well, maybe that will be interesting, and we can kind of bring this photo over a little bit. So just making some small adjustments to the photo, making sure there's no text that goes past the margin. And now I can toggle off W, and we can double click on this photo and see if we can't do some final cropping with her. Just kind of bring her over. She was a little too far on her own to the left, so I thought I wanted to bring her as close as I could to the headline without overlapping the headline. So right about there. So now I can feel like she's a little bit closer in there, and I don't want to cover up the bracelet because that is part of what we're talking about with accessories. So there we have it. There's our first basic editorial layout spread that we did together. We learned about paragraph management, how to kind of get some swatches going so that we can recall the same colored swatches, and we can change them throughout the whole document by just one click. And there's a couple other things I want to go over that will be time savers, just like we had global styles with our color swatches, where we can assign a color and change everything globally across the whole document. There's also something called paragraph and character styles that we can save and recall later. So we can start to develop our body copy. So let's say we have our body copy, it's Minion Pro, it's 12 points, it has this spacing between the paragraphs, we've got all that set up. We can save that particular style and we can assign it to another new article that we bring in, so there's consistency across the entire magazine, and we're going to do that next.